Chris and Brandon here with another in our educational series on supplementation. We're going to talk about nitrates. And in fact, we were just talking before this, there's actually some really large misnomers about nitrates as a whole. And I see that in comments sometimes when I post up about vasoblitz or full blitz, and people going, well, my blood pressure, I can't take that. And in fact, it's highly studied for cardiovascular health and lowering blood pressure, and actually used as a supplement specifically for that. A lot of times with elderly populations, those with significant cardiovascular risks. But I'm kind of jumping into the content ahead of time here. So, Brandon, you want to kick us off because there's a few different pathways that this acts on, and what's better. And let's walk through what it does, what nitrates do, how they operate.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, we need to understand what nitric oxide does for us as a positive, because that's really what we're going to be talking about today. So nitric oxide is going to dilate our blood vessels, actually allow the muscles controlling them to relax and widen, which does a lot of positive things for some of the things he's already mentioned, but also in exercise itself. And to name a few, it's going to improve circulation, it improves mitochondrial efficiency, enhances muscle contractile efficiency, and even improves exercise tolerance. And this has been very well studied and very well proven. Now, the nitric oxide amino acid precursors used in supplementation oftentimes going to be L-citrulline and arginine nitrate. Now, there's a constant question, it's so constant, so consistent, where people are always asking themselves, which is better, which is better, which is better? The fact of the matter is, both are better than either. Okay, and that's where we start to get into the dual pathway nitric oxide support that's found in full blitz and vasoblitz. This is one of the best ways and things that we can do to actually improve our nitric oxide production as we're actually working out. Both L-citrulline and arginine nitrate have two completely different and distinct pathways, and by taking advantage of both of them, we greatly improve our ability to increase nitric oxide levels as we train and actually get the totality of the benefits that they actually offer.
So I like to think about this as simple analogies. You're in your house late at night, somebody kicks in the door. You got a single barrel shotgun and you got a double barrel shotgun. What are you going to use to defend yourself? What's going to have the greatest spread, the greatest efficiency, and make sure you get the job done. That's why we go with the dual pathway support. But I want to dive a little bit deeper on some of the things that Brandon was talking about here. We're talking about those blood vessels opening up, right? Well, this is why nitrates are used in pump products, because we get this fullness, we get the vascularity, it looks great. But the daily loading that we promote, and them as a whole, what the unique thing is around this improved circulation. So we're increasing the blood flow through the body, through our muscle tissue, getting that turnover. So we combine this with a great dietary, making sure we've got our macronutrients, micronutrients, all those sorts of things in our, and now we're able to get that turnover in the muscles, we're able to feed it better, it's gonna enhance. So here's the beauty of what nitrates do, is they're gonna enhance everything that you're doing from a training and a supplementation and a diet standpoint. So whenever you're hitting money on those, you're gonna ramp that up. It's the same reason I do blood flow restriction with some of my training, right? And those, think about it from an athletic environment, those that are competing in non-tested arenas. Everything, it's stupid for those athletes to not be using something like this, because it's gonna take those effects and amplify it. And also think about, again, the blood pressure lowering effects, the improvement on cardiovascular health, and these things are significantly well documented. In fact, the arginine nitrate that we use is patented because of the studies behind that. So that's the NO3T that we use. But there's a lot of different other products. So anything else that you want to add on our discussion around nitrates, Brandon?
Yeah, just keep in mind, this is something that really does have an accumulative effect. So taking it on a day-to-day basis for weeks at a time, you'll really start to see the totality of its benefit. On the first day of me taking this supplement in particular, it is definitely a great benefit. Great benefit, don't get me wrong. I saw an astonishing pump. It really did feel like it improved my strength endurance in a really big way, especially around powerlifting and strength training specifically. But at the same time, I really start to see the totality of the benefits about 14 days in. Take it consistently for a few weeks, the benefits just seem to get better and better and better from there.
Yeah, so we got to think about those things in It's kind of the same thing we talk about in training. There's acute stimulus and a chronic. Same thing with both medicine and supplementation. Some things work in that the acute status. The others, it's chronic. It's the saturation point that you have to build to get that in the tissue, and it just keeps getting better and better and better, which is really freaking awesome. And the impact for me, the biggest thing is that recovery and that quality of training. So Brandon, you had an interesting insight this last year as you watched me diet, and you were commenting. You're like, man, your training has been so much better this time around. And that's because in the diets in my past, I wasn't relying on this daily saturation of it. And while I was in a calorie deficit for a year, dropping 50 plus pounds, my training stayed great because I had that fullness. I had that fullness walking in, which makes a big difference. So to wrap that up, nitrates, they're good. Don't believe the BS about avoid your nitrates in food and stuff like that as well. So we dual pathway, double barrel shotgun, hit all the methods. What we're gonna do, improve circulation, improve mitochondrial efficiency, improve muscle contractile efficiency, and exercise tolerance. And on top of that, cardiovascular improvements as well.